Hey guys, good afternoon. Sorry for the way I look, but my hair's too long to spike like I normally do. We've been home, not quite a week and a half yet. I've done a couple of videos. I'm going to get those up. The videos that I did of our travels were the ones you've seen everybody do. We went to the same old places everybody goes. It was amazing. Arizona is a beautiful state from the north to the south, and we hit up a lot of places we hadn't seen before. But what today's video is about is I'm going to show you how I make my cake mix. It's a homemade cake mix. So simple, and we just love it. I've been doing this for a long time, but today's going to be a kitchen experiment. My recipe that I've used forever, it's 8 cups of flour, 6 cups of sugar, a 1/4 cup of baking powder, 1½ teaspoons of salt, and then I store it in a gallon jar. I just ran out the other day, and I write the recipe on the side, just like I do my brownies. And what this calls for is a cup of milk. And I don't always have milk, and well, I'm just not bright enough to remember that I got a whole stock of powdered milk. But I decided what I'm going to do, this is going to be my experiment. I'm going to make my recipe, but I'm going to add powdered milk to these dry ingredients so that all I have to do is add water, eggs, and butter and the flavoring when I bake it. I'm going to make this, and I'm going to try one of the cakes this afternoon and see how it turns out. Typically, I'll make a double batch because it stores forever. There's recipes all over out there on the internet. Most of them say to add your shortening. They use shortening. You know I don't like that, but they say to add the shortening into the dry ingredients, cut it in, I guess kind of like a Bisquick. And I don't want to do that. I want it to be as shelf stable as I can, and I figure if I don't add the fat, then it'll be good for a long time. So let's get started. Oh, and I will say my flour, y'all know that I grind my own. I have a little flour mill, and today I ground up a whole bunch of whole wheat flour with intention. I got bread over there rising on the stovetop right now. And I decided I'd go ahead and make up this cake mix today, and who knows what else I might do, right? All right, let me get set up and we'll get started. Okay, I'm going to start by adding 4 cups. The recipe calls for 8 cups of flour. I'm going to start by adding 4 cups of all-purpose flour. I was going to go get a dry measure, and I thought, oh, it doesn't matter. This is my whole wheat flour that I just ground. So I'm going to add 4 cups of whole wheat flour. About that, guys. FedEx guy was here. Okay, now I'm going to add 4 cups of my whole wheat flour. And then the next thing is 6 cups of sugar. And I'll do the same thing. I'm not going to use dry measurement. Y'all know I'm not precise all the time anyway. The only time I'm really precise is if I'm trying a new recipe. But this works for me. So it's 6 cups sugar. I'll get that added and come back. I went ahead and got everything pre-measured so you don't have to watch me. 1½ teaspoons of salt. 1/4 cup of baking powder, and this is my new experiment, powdered milk. So I tell you, the old brain had to work today. I had to do a lot of kitchen math, but since this makes 16 cups, which would be enough for 4 cakes, 4 recipes, and each recipe uses 1 cup of milk. And it takes 1/3 cup of powdered milk and 7/8 cup water to make a cup of milk. So for 4 recipes, I've got 1 1/3 cups of powdered milk. And I'll be adjusting the recipe on the jar just a bit. But I'm going to get my whisk and then I just start mixing this. And I do take my time to make sure it's very well mixed. And so you don't need to sit here and watch me do that, because I spend quite a bit of time doing this. I want to make sure that I've got it all mixed well. And the nice thing that I really like about my homemade cake mixes, I know what's in it. Half of the ingredients on some of those box mixes you can't even read or know what it is. So this is so simple, and I know everything that's in it. Alright guys, I'll be back when I get it good and mixed. I got the cake mix put in my jar, and I've showed you this on some of my other things before, but I write the recipe on the outside of the jar. It's always there. It should say 4 1/3 cups of mix, but y'all know I don't measure that well, so it's probably going to be 4 1/3, maybe 3 2/3, who knows. 7/8 cup of water. I'm going to be accurate with that one, you can bet. 2 eggs, a stick of soft butter, and a teaspoon of whatever flavoring you'd like. Put it into a greased 9x13 pan at 350 for about 35 to 37 minutes. And little cheater, sometimes I use the butter wrapper to grease my pan. What can I say? Cheap, free, right? Anyway, after the bread comes out of the oven, I'm going to make this cake. I'm going to see if I like it, and I'll be back and let you know what we think. Talk to y'all later. Guys, the bread just came out of the oven. I've already greased my pan with my butter wrapper, like I told you I would. I've got 4 cups of mix and the stick of butter in there. Here's my 7/8 cup of water. And I'm going to use almond flavoring. It kind of reminds me of wedding cake. We'll call that a hefty teaspoon. And lucky me, I had some duck eggs. So since they're small, I'm going to use 3 duck eggs instead of 2 regular eggs. Duck eggs are perfect for baking. Alright, my mixer's going to be loud, so I'll be back. Okay, well, it mixed up really nice. And of course I tasted the batter. Tastes good. So we'll see after it's baked if I like it. And if I do, I'm changing my recipe. Be so nice, just all I have to do is add the water. And I got a couple other little projects I'm going to kitchen experiment with. Okay, I'm going to get this poured into my 9x13 pan, and I'll check back with you when it comes out of the oven. Hey, how many of you noticed I got a new wooden handle rubber spatula, Rubbermaid? And I don't know if you remember me talking about this when we were in the RV, but I had made the comment, I sure wish I had one. Well, we went to one of the vendors there in Quartzsite. $2 a piece, guys. I looked on Amazon, they're $8. I bought 2, one for the RV, and I already have 5 or 6 in the house, but never have too many of these. Especially when you're the mother of boys. I'm not that mean. But it was always a joke that I broke a lot of wooden handles over a lot of my boys' butts and a lot of their friends. Makes for a good story, right? See you later. Alright guys, the cake is done. It's out of the oven. And it's good. I'll probably keep on doing that. The only thing, it fell. And sometimes it does that. I don't know why. I don't really care. It tastes good. So I'm going to call that little experiment a success. I'll probably keep doing that from now on. That way I don't have to think about mixing up a cup of milk from powdered milk or whatever. It's already in the mix. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.